I will say this, and I'm open to you guys punching holes in it, but I would say the general characteristic of all successful people is that they have discipline and they impose it on themselves. They really everything gets better with discipline.
Have you read I forget what it is. It's a book by Tim Ferriss. And basically what he did was he sent out a survey to like thousands of people that were all successful and masters in their craft. And there was like, I don't know, 40 questions on the survey. And he asked them, please answer minimum 5. And a lot of the people answered the same questions. You know, what's one daily habit that you do? How many hours do you sleep? What was one purchase under $1,000 that changed your life? You know, and all these people had so many similarities, and these are all like the top country music singer, the top actor, the top athletes, like all this stuff. And there were so many parallels and similarities. Every single person got a full night's sleep. Like 90% of them, they're like, nope, sleep is a priority. And a ton of them, everyone worked out every day, and a ton of them, the number one piece of equipment that they bought was some form of exercise equipment. A lot of them, it was a Concept 2 rower.
Which is a horrible thing to buy for yourself, but a great thing to buy for yourself, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean by horrible? I mean, it's not
enjoyable.
No, you're committing to something that's not fun, especially, at least I don't find it fun. The assault bike, I can always get my head wrapped around. The Concept 2 rower, I just look at it and I'm like, oh God, here we go. I'm never like, oh, this is going to be fun.
I'm the exact opposite.
Well, you've tortured yourself on the assault bike. You've probably done more calories in the first 3 minutes of every one of your assault bikes than I've done in my life.
But I think with like all these successful people, it's like, all right, there's not a coincidence that all these successful people are putting a priority on their sleep. They're putting a priority on their physical health and fitness. A lot of them, you know, they were saying like, oh, you know, the best thing I did was hire a chef or hire a cook. You know, they're making the healthy food taste good. So it's like, yeah, they're operating at a level above most of us. But the idea is they care about their body physically so that when they go to their job, they can operate at the highest level. But I thought that was super important too, of like, you know, there's the two mindsets of like the entrepreneurs that are like, you don't sleep 8 hours. I remember seeing Steve Harvey, like, millionaires don't sleep 8 hours a night. I'm like, yeah, right, dude, I sleep 10. But you know, there's the entrepreneur mindset of like, you don't need sleep. Like, you know, you're sleeping a couple hours a night and hustling through it. And then there's other people that are like, fuck no, man, I want to operate at the highest level possible. I want my mind to be sharp, and I'm structuring my day to allow for 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah. Sleep is for the weak. Everyone knows that.
Get the fuck out of here.
When you guys were kids, did you guys put yourself to sleep? Like my sister, she would stay up and fall asleep in front of the TV until my mom told her to go to sleep. Me, the second I started getting tired, even as a little boy, I'd be like, and two of my boys will stay up and fall asleep in front of the TV, and a third one's like, I'm tired, I'm tapping. And I was the tapping kid. I would just put myself to sleep. All right, enough of this shit. I'm going to bed.
If I'm in a situation that allows it, like I can stay up until 5 a.m. without batting an eye. Like, not even a question. I have accidentally fallen asleep twice in my life, and it freaked me the fuck out when I woke up because I didn't know what happened. So unless I like go through my nighttime routine of like telling my body like, all right, it's time to go to bed, for some reason, as if I get into bed and close my eyelids, it's like my mind is like, all right, now we're going to figure out all of your life problems. We're going to figure out how, like for me, I think about shit like, how am I going to afford to pay property taxes for the next 50 years?
As you're falling asleep?
Yeah, I think that's
like I'll get into bed. And, dude, like Sammy gets into bed and like gives me a kiss goodnight and boom, out.
Yeah, that's me.
It's unreal. For me, it's like, it's a conscious effort to get myself to sleep. That's why I have such a rigorous nighttime routine of like, all right, phone off, TV off, you know, no stimulants. Like after, 1 PM, I'm having my cup of dream before an hour before bed. Like all these things to get myself ready to go to bed.
Right, and I think that's a lot of people's issues, right? They get into bed and then they're all, then their mind starts to go, right? And they can't shut their brain off. And so for me, that's why I use the TV a little bit. But to go back to that, talking about that sleep doctor that I started to like listen to and read his books named Dr.
Melatonin thing?
No, this guy never really talked about melatonin, Dr. Matthew Walker. But he basically put out, that your brain is so smart and so it gets like you build habits very quickly. And so if you do anything in your bed other than like sleep and
what are you talking about?
Have sleep
and what?
Sleep
like
and
change the sheets. What else? What other stuff do you do in bed besides sleep and change the sheets?
Whatever you do in your the other thing that you would do in your bed. I think with your partner, significant other, lady friend,
baby maker,
right. Make babies
move.
if you need to make babies in there. Like those are really the only two things you should do in your bed. Even so, a lot of people will even try to like read at night to go to sleep and fall asleep. And he even says in his book that you should actually do that either in another room or in like a different chair than your bed, because then your brain starts to think when you get into bed, it's time to read and it's not time to fall asleep. Where he's like literally like saying, you build the habit where that's why you don't have the electronics, you don't have your phone. You build the habits that when you get into bed, it's to go to sleep. And so that your brain is now it's like saying, hey, we're going to bed. It's really interesting.
So that's funny. Like I read, or when I was reading, like a lot of my habits changed when I stopped competing. But like Sammy goes to bed way earlier than me. So I would stay up and I got like a dimmable light out for the couch, and like an hour before going to bed I would read out on the couch, not intentionally. I just didn't want to keep Sammy up when we were in bed. And I found that was like when I would go to bed, it was like I thought it was just because of reading, but it makes sense because it's like, yep, I'm not in bed, I'm doing it in a different room. So as soon as I go into bed, it's like my body's like, yep, time to go to sleep.
Would you ever service Sammy because she's going to bed and then wake back up and get out of bed?
No. Don't ask me dumb questions like that.
Once you service, you go to sleep. Okay, just checking, because that would be true love.
Jesus Christ!
The term
Don't ever talk about my sweetheart like that.
Yeah. No. Everyone needs servicing. It was funny. I was looking at Josh's face when we were talking about when I said when you were a little kid, did you go to sleep, put yourself to sleep? And I could see Josh's brain. I wasn't born a little kid. I was born a man.
I was born a man.
Like I don't have any memories before this mustache.
Rolled out with my gun and my knife sharpener. That was about it.
Stork just dropped me off at Bud's train.
That's right, baby. What's up? Boots hit the ground running. You know what I mean?